Okay, hello, everyone. I've always wanted to do something like this, but I've always found excuses as to why either it wasn't the right time, or I wasn't in the right setting, or I needed to get this or do that. There was always an excuse, but today I've decided that I'm going to do this. I'm going to post something. I'm going to say something and see how it goes. Listen, I've told myself if I'm the only one that watches this stuff or it just doesn't go to plan, I just need to delete and just deny. I won't even need to deny that I used to do YouTube because no one would have watched it, right? So, you know, what's the harm in trying? And I've always told myself I wanted to do something like this, but I came to the realization that if I don't do it, it will never happen. It won't get done. So I hope this serves as an encouragement to anyone who wants to start something like this or who has been thinking about doing something and they've been always stopping because of excuses. Just do it. Honestly, what is the worst that can happen? Seriously, try and try again and try again. So here I am trying, and let's see how it goes. But yeah, my name is Tina, and I wanted to come on here really to just share my heart, I guess. I have been feeling a little, a little down. It's been up and down, really. But I guess today, especially, and yeah, for a bit, I guess you can get in your mind a bit and you can start thinking about where you think you would have been by now, where you are now, what you've done, what you haven't done, and just start to worry about the fact that time is ticking and that there is no sign of anything actually changing, and also realizing that there's a lot of the moving parts that are outside of your control, but that what is in your control, you don't know what to do or how to move or how to make use of stuff because you just don't know. So just to put a little context to it all, I'm 31 and I have never been in a relationship before. I've never experienced that kind of thing, and I'm used to it. I'm used to just not knowing, but it's something that I want to know, and it's something that I want to experience, and it's something that I want to to live in as well. A lot of the information and videos and things like that you see online, you have people who will say, I've been single for 4 years, for 5 years, for this many, however long, and it will sound as if it's like the longest time that anyone can ever be single. But I don't really hear a lot from people who have never been in a relationship before and are starting out in this venture and are desiring marriage and believing for it as well, but just have no experience whatsoever. And you're not looking to be dating continuously. You're believing and trusting God for the one and praying that you will be the one for the one too, and that the marriage will be something that will glorify God and honor Him as well. And sometimes you can get into a headspace where, because it's never happened before and you've never experienced it before, but it's happening all around you, you start to wonder if it will ever be your story, if it will ever be your turn. And I can't see my future, and I can't see what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't have that power. I can't see what's happening tomorrow. All I can look at is what's already happened. And what's already happened has there's nothing I don't have past relationships to look back on and to say, okay, I've experienced this, or I've seen this, or I've gone through this. I don't have any of that. And so when you look back, you can almost try and project into your future that because you haven't seen anything then, you won't see anything now or in your future. But just because you're looking into a mirror and it looks like something, it doesn't mean that what's ahead will be the same. And I've had to come to terms with the fact that, yes, I can't see what's happening in my future, but it doesn't mean that I should speak negatively into it. Just because I can't see something happening, it doesn't mean that I should cancel it, because I have no proof that it won't. Yeah, I might not have any proof that it will, But that same energy that I would use my mouth to speak negatively or put myself down with, or just believe it won't happen, it's better. It's better for me to use my strength and my energy to speak hope and life into the situation, and not use my words to bring myself down, because I can't see what's ahead. So if I can't see, then what's the point of me speaking negatively? I might as well speak positively and believe that yes, what is yet to come will favor me, and that the desires that God has given me in terms of marriage and family and things like that, by his unfailing grace, it will come to pass. And so I guess I wanted to say that if you're in my position, and it might not even be that you're waiting for a relationship, maybe there's something else you're waiting for, and it seems like it may never come to pass. Stop yourself from speaking negatively or trying to cancel out something that you cannot see. Believing that it will happen, although it's scary, is worth more than you cancelling it out and believing that it won't. What I try to remind myself as well is that, listen, every day that God has created is his day. Psalm 118:24 says, "This is the day the Lord has made, therefore we will rejoice and be glad in it." If yesterday was made by God and today is made by God, that means tomorrow is made by God as well. And God doesn't give bad things. He always gives good things. Again, Matthew 11:7 says, if us, who by our very nature, like we are evil, we know how to give good gifts to our children, then our Father in heaven, who gives good gifts, will give it to those who ask of him. Tomorrow is going to be a day created by God. And my God, I know, is someone who gives good gifts. Therefore, I will rather stand in the promises of his unfailing love, because regardless of what I do not see in my past, I do see his faithfulness, and I do see his love, and I do see his mercy, and I do see his grace in my life. I see that, and I see how many times he has saved me even from myself. And I've seen his consistency. When everything else is crumbling, he has been consistent. He has been consistent. And so if I can stand on that, and on the belief and the knowledge that, yes, this is the day. Tomorrow is the day that the Lord has made. Therefore, I will rejoice in the fact that he is a faithful God. And I will rejoice in the fact that he has never failed me. That he gives me good things. And that what seems like a delay is never a denial. And that in his own beautiful time, everything will fall into place. And that even in this season where I am waiting and believing for God for a miracle for my own life, that I will use this time as a time to refine myself, to learn to build my character, and to position myself for whatever it is that God has for me. It took me a while to accept that my desire for marriage was a good thing, and it's something that I'm proud to speak of. Not proud to speak of as in like to speak out, but to say that yes, marriage is something that I want. Like marriage is something that I desire, and it is. And I find myself sometimes looking forward for the day that it will happen, like when I will meet this person, and the journey we'll have together, and the family will build, and things like that, and just how we will glorify God as well. But it's funny as well, when you think about it, sometimes you have to catch yourself, and it can make you almost give yourself like a wake up, like to make yourself feel like you need to wake up, because it's like, mate, you're nowhere near that. So like, just come back to reality. And if you're not careful, it can make you feel quite down, because it's like, I have nothing to show for myself in terms of my idea to want to get married. And you look at society, and you look at, you know, like all the pictures on like Instagram and social media and things like that, and how people are meeting and things like that, and just the imagery that's being put in front of you. And you look at yourself, or I look at myself, and I think, well, I don't stand out like that. I'm not pretty like that. I don't have much going for me, like, you know, physically like that. Like, who would even notice me? But the thing is, And I know, like, the devil's a liar. I'm looking forward for the day that whoever it is that God has for me will see me and accept me for me. Like, and I will feel comfortable in who I am, to have and to be able to rest in that safety and that knowledge and that truth that this man sees me and he accepts me the way that God sees me and accepts me, and I don't have to hide. I'm looking forward to that day, and will I will believe for that day to come, and I'm believing for that day to come. But yes, we have to make sure that we are speaking life into our future and not death or negativity or anything that goes against God's will and God's desire for our life. Again, Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it will eat its fruit." How are you going to speak into your future? You can't see it. Again, you cannot see it. So isn't it worth you speaking life into it than bringing it down? We can't see our future, but God does. And he has good things for us. So why would you counter the good things that he has planned for you by speaking negatively? Like, it's easy to do it. Like, I will never this, or that will never happen, or like, it will never be me. Like, whatever the case may be, like, stop yourself from saying those things. Stop yourself. Just do your best to stop yourself from saying those things, because listen, God's plan for you and the gifts God has for you and what he has in store for you are good things. Why would you want to fight against that with words that will pull things down? We don't want that. We don't want that. There's a fly. Okay, yes. So, I really want us to watch our tongue and to understand that God is the giver of good gifts, and that your desire for marriage or anything else that you are believing and seeking God for is a good thing. And so long as it's in line with his word and his will, and you're believing him for his will to be done, I know that it will come to pass. I want to leave us with this scripture, and it's in Hebrews chapter 10 verse 23, and it says, "Let us hold firmly to the hope that we have confessed, because we can trust God to do what he has promised." Let us hold firmly to the hope that we have confessed, because we can trust God to do what he has promised. Hebrews 10:23. Let's hold on to our hope. Sometimes the hope, like, it loses its spark, but it's still there. God has been faithful. He has been faithful. He's been true. He's been good. And you know this. If he can be faithful in the things of the past, what so much? What more? Your future. Speak life. Trust in him. And when everything else seems to be crumbling around you, hold on to the truth and the consistent truth, love, faithfulness, and goodness of God. He will surely complete what he has promised. And I just want you to believe that your time is yet to come. I'm saying this today, honestly. I know tomorrow I might be like, what's going on? But listen, I have made a decision that regardless of how I feel, and again, it's easier said than done, I know, but I want to speak life into what I can't see, and believe that as God is refining me, as I am growing, as my character is building, as I'm learning about myself and I'm learning about God and I'm learning about Christ and I'm learning about how I can be more Christ-like in my relationships with other people, in how I move and how I act, in my mindset, and everything else in between. That in God's own supernatural way, he will ensure that things align and that he's glorified. So I pray that this somehow encourages someone. I know that it's not easy. I know that there are nights and days and afternoons and every time in between where you can just feel like things seem impossible. But I'm so glad that we're reminded that honestly and truly nothing is impossible for God. And that the wait is never wasted when we are standing, believing, and holding on to the truth that the promises of God always come to pass, and that in Him we find rest, we find refuge, we find hope, and that it will be okay. It will be okay. Yeah. God is good. Anyway, yes, I'll stop there. But I hope that this has been encouraging, and I want to do more of these kind of things. I hope that I can do more of this, and thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. All right, bye.